Chilling with Sirius Talis Moon. This is Venus Hour. And yeah, we're coming to Mars Day. Mars and Mercury. What day is it? Mercury. Um, Mercury is about to oppose Uranus on the degree. Ascendant is with Venus, that's separating from Antares. And the Moon is applying to Regulus. Now, I'm getting something to do with food. I'm gonna say like that. When they were cutting food stamps in USA, there were a lot of in black community, there were a lot of black men that were saying, "Oh, now men are going to get some love from women." They were not predicting correctly that, and I began to talk about it in my previous episode, where when everything is somehow working, banks somehow still banking, people somehow still have money or transportation, and so on. Then, if she mad at you, she gonna buy her something. She gonna dress up. She's not gonna take it out on you. She's not gonna cut your penis off. She's not like she's not gonna poison you. Not gonna do anything like that. Definitely not gonna, get up, tell the closest, organized crime person. Yeah, remember when you knocked on my door and you said somebody came to me? See that person? He thinks that. They said no. Now, here is the thing about it. And remember that the Second World War, it was after the suffragist movement and a lot of LGBTQ awakening. What that means is that during the war, it's not that people said, "Oh, I'll give up the right to vote." No. Now, let's say somebody can't vote because they have to move here, move there, and they don't have access to they're not considered, they're not given their right to vote. If they're not being represented, they're not having loyalty to that which didn't make sure that they get the right to vote, that their voting counts, that the election process is not corrupt, and that nobody that could risk their access to the basic resources can masquerade themselves as a political party. That the game is rigged, doesn't go. And here is about Aries. Aries is not about, it's not Libra. It's not the image of something. It's not just how something looks on the outside. Aries, with Aries, one has to be, now also with Libra. If something is not authentic in Libra, we get into Scorpio land and everything is exposed. And when Neptune and Saturn ingress into Aries, people are gonna have to understand Aries. Aries wants sovereignty. Now, if you rape, you can't have sovereignty. See, if there would be zero rape society, they could pull off a no taxation. They could pull off a no taxation because people would build, they would self sustain I'm not saying it's a good thing, because then a person gets sick, that person gets into an accident, and so on. But if there would be a zero rape society, they could pull off. You don't pay much taxes, you have small government, everything's fine. As long as there's no rape, everything's fine. When there is the first case of sexual boundary violation, all hell breaks loose. No trust, no loyalty, no nada. You can't talk about, well, for the land we fight. You're a rapist. You founded the land on human trafficking. Now, when it comes to food, those that come with the rapey mindset, they're gonna run into people that swipe the anger under the rug. They say, you come to me to pretend that the life energy you stole from me by raping me, now is charity? No, that's not charity. Off with your head. My energy, give me my energy back. It's my life, it's my ability to make a living. It's my housing, it's my land. It's the land that you polluted, you come to present it. And you know what happens in hospitals. You need to see what happens, because what happens in hospitals, they can pull it off, to the families that made their lineage off of doing the same to other people. They can pull it off. They can pull it off. A person comes in alive, comes out dead. I know, I almost died. 2000, what was it, 2019 or 2020? You know what happens when that happens to a tribe? The entire tribe is outside the hospital. But why don't they get it going for them? Because the tribe themselves, they need to be not rapey. So when it comes to food, those that want to be raping and presenting themselves as the benevolent, you got your money by MK often? Where's our housing? Where's our land? Oh, but these people, that... Now with these people, that people. These people, they founded themselves by human trafficking. We are part of the victims of that. You see, in Aries, if you can't look a person in the eye and respect them, there's gonna be no excuse. If you're a rapist, you're a rapist. If you try to pretend that you're the benevolent when you raped in the astral, you're still the rapist. No Libra land. Nobody's going to be diplomatic. You don't maintain the sexual sovereignty of the people. You don't come to make war. You come to make economic hitmanship. But people need to pay the debt of the... What debt of the war? Where's my land? Where's my house? You say you war. Did you kill all the rapists? That's what is war for? War is to kill the rapist. Ares, god of war, kill the rapists. Nobody's gonna respect you when you don't honor sexual sovereignty. Men get raped. Fear and terror don't make for a regime. They make for an incompetent loser, susceptible to invasion at any flinch of a second. Okay? North Korea. Okay, why was Kim Jong-un so terrified of United States? And please don't invade me, please. He didn't know about MK Ultra and MK Ultra, that these guys. Now we see no food stamps, no housing. The job is not yield. People working at jobs and they're afraid to lose their RV. But before the world could see it, he was really afraid not to be invaded. Why? Because he knew he holds these people so tight that anybody that invades gets the entire country like that on a silver plate. Why? Sexual sovereignty. You come to Israel today, you grant sexual sovereignty for the women, for the children, for the people. Then you say, pray to the white cloud. You say, white clouds, morning, day, and night. We'll pray to your white cloud. Why not? Today, like that. Because people see. I had yesterday, my mother sent me to say, buy something sweet without sugar. I say, I know every once in a while, she says, oh, maybe there will be halva, maybe there will be pudding, maybe. And I got all these things. I had 100 shekels. And then the cashier tells me, yes, it's almost 100 shekels. I'm like, okay, I can't take everything. I need to, because then my mother would kill me. She's like, I sent you with 100 shekels, you come with 4 shekels back. That's no business. So I had to take half of the things out. Once a year, she feels like having something sweet. You know, Saturn was squaring Mars. How does it look like? It's the supermarket. And they're great, great staff. It's a great supermarket. It's not, that's the food prices. You come to Israel, you grant people a sexual sovereignty. It has to be real. It can't be the image of. The people have a sexual sovereignty. No domestic violence. Housing for the people with PTSD. Believe in the people with PTSD. Then people can actually sustain. Removing all the toxins from the soil, you get Israel today, like that. Every day, every single business is another type of human trafficking that they get informants. People come with these Nazi ideologies. It's like Nazis, Nazis, Nazis. Nobody cares. You speak Hebrew, Arabic, Dutch, I don't know, Thai language. Nobody cares. You speak sovereignty or you speak fear tactics. You speak fear tactics, people had enough of that. You speak sovereignty, now we listen. What? I mean, when you turn to the municipality, you write an email. The names you're playing, you are already Chinese. It's not that people have problems with different names, different that, different language. No. You maintain a sexual sovereignty and people having land and no toxins on there, then okay. Now it's lucrative because the people coming back from the war, they have PTSD because of the things that they did in the war. And they're not being acknowledged as IDF. When the people die, the army acknowledges them. It's called Halal Tzal. They're not being acknowledged. There was a guy who was 28. What a terrible Saturn return. Went to war. Later, he didn't agree with what he did in war. And then he killed himself. Is not being acknowledged by the army now. It means that all the people that fought for the army, they're with PTSD. They're not whole with what they did in the war. They got no mention in Gaza, and and they understand that nobody treats veterans. Nobody treats PTSD even without the war. So with the war, and they're being seen as I'm sorry. It's like, did they rape? Nobody. You date someone. Let's say you after that, you come to date someone. It's like you've been in a war, and like, did he rape? You're not gonna say it. It's like, yeah, he's a hero. Did he rape? He's a rapist. And also, with the people that try to pretend like they're the lover boy, and then to try to siphon with the energy, people are already aware of that. So now you come to the country, you grant a sexual sovereignty. You honor the people that deal with any type of PTSD, not just army. Now, if the global regime won't do better, then local regime will resist the global regime. But anyway, if the sexual sovereignty is maintained, that's where people can be themselves, can do something with their lives, not having to have protection here, protection there, being targeted here, being targeted there, dark occult, dark this. How do you think they brought Jesus to all these places? Shit ton of violence, yes, but they already had the previous violence. And then there's like, what do you need to do? Pray to Jesus. Offer your firstborn? No. Genitalia mutilation? No. Baptized. What's baptized? Pour some water on the baby in the lake. Okay, that's nice. Relatively better. Now, what happens when Jesus does a spiritual warfare and say, pray to Jesus? It rapes people and then say, pray to Jesus. Up until now, I like Jesus. Now, if Jesus grants me sovereignty, it means that it's independent of whether I pray to Jesus or not. Right? If I don't have choice, how can I follow Christianity? That's true with any religion. If a person can't say no, it's no love. The essence of religion is love. If a person cannot say no, they cannot love. How can a person say yes if saying no means that they're losing their house, they're losing their this, they're losing nationality, they're losing that, losing that? It's not love. It's not religion. Now here's the thing. People want to just live their lives. But you can't say, it can't be gaslight. You can't say, oh, just live your life when person goes, I just want to buy my mama some things that, sugar-free pudding for something like the fluff vanilla in Netherlands, but without sugar. I know it's not even close. But hey, a couple of things, 95 shekels. How can I just live my life? Mars squares Saturn. I say, okay, Mars square Saturn, I give myself to the airport, drink a matcha latte, whatever. I go back home. Do I have money to buy matcha? No. Okay. Is there a plan B? Yeah, but it doesn't have food in it. So how can I just live my life? Now, normally it's kind of like, well, then let's get a job somewhere. All the jobs are informants. All of them are imbued with human trafficking. And the working conditions are slavery conditions. So by the time I get to fly, I don't know, somewhere, they'll fly my dead body or something. I mean, if I write it in the will, granted that I would need to also fund the will, because I don't know how many children the lawyer had to rape to get the certification. Doesn't allow people to just live their lives, is what I'm saying. So what's going to be is that the people that think that they can present themselves as the rich benevolent when they're taking the energy and the food from the people are gonna run into those people that they were trying to play that trick with. They gonna get Pluto in Aquarius is when people speak truth to power. Now here's the thing. If something, let's say, didn't work out so well, but I got my sexual sovereignty, and let's say, I don't know, I'm studying for a degree. Okay, then I have something that I do is meaningful, then I swipe the rest under the rug. If it's not, the most luxurious thing or whatnot, but I get to travel somewhere, I got my sexual sovereignty, I get to travel somewhere. I said, okay, maybe it wasn't luxury, but at least I got to see something, I enjoyed, I don't know, seeing the Northern Lights or whatever. When child comes to the world, what do they look for at the parent? Everything that the parent, if there is food, the child looks at the parent and there's like, and then they cry and there is food. And they're like, oh. They cry and there is a hug. How do you think they look at leaders? They cry, there's no food. What happens? It's very terrifying. Oh, you have to get food ourselves, no problem. You try to get food yourself. Here is not allowed, here is private land, here is this, here is that. Like, wait a second. Here is the food, here is the fence, here is the regime. And here is me crying for food. It's behind the fence. Take down the fence. Now we're going to see it on a global level because it's 0 degree Aries that Saturn and Neptune are meeting on Valentine's Day. How many men are going to get poisoned this Valentine's Day? Because they were waiting for the women, thinking they're going to be the rich benevolent. So when you forget the Valentine's Day, then then later you're going to have to fly her somewhere. But when you go with those fear tactics of the people that the only sex they had was raping a 6 years old, waiting for her to turn 9, or waiting for her to not turn 9 so she wouldn't get pregnant, these guys not gonna give you good dating advice. People thinking they're gonna talk about population, depopulation. If you don't have sexual sovereignty, what population? People kill the children so that the children won't be raped. What happened in 2008? It was a family. The guy was fired, big subprime crisis, went, took a gun, killed all of these children, his wife and himself. It wasn't even domestic violence. He didn't want the wife to be traded, didn't want the wife to be raped, didn't want the children to be raped and trafficked. And he didn't know what to do. He saved them from Epstein. If you didn't honor sexual sovereignty, you say, oh, now people are going to need me. So they're going to poison you, so they're going to kill you. Because when you don't honor sexual sovereignty, without you is better. How are you going to be appreciated if you don't honor sexual sovereignty? What's there to appreciate? You violate the very being, the very identity of the person that you want to appreciate you. Now here, in those things, the toxicity of people comes out, so people see. In normal times, women usually, why do people have big weddings? Because in the process of making the big wedding, people see, is this person gonna break down? Is he too stressed? Can he be a father? Can he maintain growing and nourishing and tending to a big project? Can he honor the whims of a woman that is, during the process of preparing, there is a lot of menstruation cycles. How is he under stress? And all the men that said, well, not ready for commitment. Amazing, it means you're not ready. Not a rapist. You're not ready, you're not ready. I'm not talking about monogamy, I'm talking about the ability to commit oneself to grow something. If you don't feel it in you, fantastic. Nobody's gonna rape you to have a family. The only people that will is the people that you raped. There, 9% of the obsessive exes are the exes that talk about women, the exes that he raped. If he was being a warlock, eventually a witch is going to I'm not saying there are no other cases and so on and so forth, but also, very unfortunately, one of the things that develop as a result of either sexual boundary violation, deep grief, or what, there's some women that they don't enjoy the orgasm as much as to control the man in bed. Unfortunately, some of them attract men that later become a life threat. And usually, when they tend to the grief or the wounds or the things that are hiding within the genitals and learn to let go into themselves, then even the welfare helps them. Now all of that is normal times. Now when we talk about not normal times, then all the women that would give you space and freedom in normal times, they will only give you space and freedom if their sexual sovereignty is honored. If a woman's sexual sovereignty is not honored, then you're not dealing with a woman, you're dealing with the foaming monster that's coming to get you. Well, even in extortion cults, what did they do? They brought children out. The guy's having sex with the child. They think the child will not get pregnant. But the child was looking a bit. The child will already have their menstrual cycle, even age 9, 10, 11. Then the child get pregnant. The guy that raped the child, he didn't think the child could get pregnant. Now they extort them. You're gonna give information to us. You're gonna this. You're gonna that. You see, when you rape a child or when you rape a person, when you dishonor sexual sovereignty, you get extorted. Why? Because you violated life energy. You violated sovereignty. You expect to have sovereignty when you violated sovereignty? Palestinian men violated sovereignty of Palestinian women. Even after what the UN calls a genocide. Okay? And Mama Taliban comes back to Gaza. Who's trafficking Mama Taliban? She's not trafficking herself. Can it be that those that trafficked Mama Taliban were doing that because they were thinking to get the mention in Gaza while all the rest of their folks are being slaughtered to death? Very likely. Who in Israel would be the closest to them ideologically? The human traffickers. I don't know. It's a very exciting discourse. Is it who is going to print the IDs? Is this going to be Pitkit or Be'eri? There's a civil war.